I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. There's a man up here whose nephew was shot. I can't get him on camera, but you can see him. He's up here very distraught. Okay. I can keep going. Yep, I'm here. I'm here. All I have is that the police on Grand have not moved. I've seen some ambulances turn around and leave. I still see at least 6 ambulances from here. And the police are now coming up the field, pushing people out the last little bit that was on the yard. So I guess that's my new, it's that the police are starting to walk up the lawn, getting people gone.
County.
Still present on Grand, period. Police officers sweeping through the lawn, getting everybody to leave. Standing by. Okay. Sure, Bria, I can give you my observations from here. The first thing that has changed okay, Mom? I'm okay. I'm broadcasting live, though. I'm the reporter on the scene, so I'm the reporter on the scene, so I have to stay. But I'm fine. I'm far away from it. I'm above it on a platform. Okay. Oh. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Okay. Bye. Anything you can share from Truman?
This is Sammy. I need a frame sync for my live hit.
Just enjoy the breeze. Such a nice day. We're spoiled in Kansas City. We're not used to things like this happening. What's that? What are you saying? Oh, the sniper's drone.
Yes, sir. ACPD headquarters. Maybe like 20 minutes. They have the roads closed off here.
I don't know what's happening down here.
I gotta like take.
By Western Auto.
You want me to go? They have it. We're at World War I, and they have everything like north up until I don't know Gillam or something.
Hey, just so you know, we've got a sniper running across the rooftop. I don't know if that's... Yeah, he's running to get to the other side. Gun drawn. Get that guy. Got him? What? Hurry. Hurry. Come.
First, give me your name. How you spell it?
Bryce, B-R-Y-C-E, Gail.
Why?
Katie Horner.
Who are you?
I'm Trudy Clyde. Welcome. Thank you guys. Thank you. All right.
asked that cop, what's your dog name?
reporter.
Now it's like the entire time.
I'm not a reporter.
Oh my god. Nuts.
Hey, Brad.
It's on the wrong channel, so if you can do it remotely.
Yeah, I'm up. Yes.
It's one of the live view 4s. It's one of the live view 4s.
Fireworks in the area going off, so it was pretty confusing for everybody at the time. And then people started running. They heard more, and people eventually tried to get out. I talked to one family who was barricaded inside of Union Station for about 30 minutes. They heard gunshots and just started running over barricades to get to some kind of safety. Exactly what people here in Kansas City are feeling after this. It's obviously, we know that this is going to be an investigation that'll be very thorough into what happened, into who was involved, into all of the things surrounding this and leading up to that shooting. And of course, this is something that we'll need to learn more from police and city leaders in the coming hours, the coming days, weeks, and maybe even the coming months. Jackson Kurtz is here with us too. He was at the parade site. I'd like to bring him in too. We're on the same live unit. But Jackson, I'm just going to hand the mic off to you and just walk us through what you saw when all this happened.
Thank you, Matt. We were leaving the Union Station area when this was going on, and we saw about 6 or 7 police cars zoom.
Which one is Betsy, like 816 or the 913?
Hey, Sal, can you help me in? Okay, got it.
Oh, do that one?
Melissa, will you send Ross inside when he gets here?
Yeah, where is he? He's still not here?
Sure.
Are you good? Okay, everybody mute.
It's mic check. Jerry, Fox 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Anybody else needs another mic check? We're good.
Did you hear what Brad said there? Okay, I'll leave it. Right.
Just for everybody else.
What a goal. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
They will.
Okay, so that's what I've got. So we've got at least 10 shot. We are told sent to Truman Children's Museum. A staff member, said 6 of those.
Staff at or
Staff
children.
at Children's said 7 were sent there. Many of the persons who died. Treatment/University Health for those 3 were sent there. That's and we're still trying to find out if there are more than one location. We had, just to summarize, we had Samantha reported that one of the gunmen, 2 gunmen arrested. Samantha reported that one of them was tackled by bystanders.
Line 7? Okay.
Hey,
Hey.
can I squeeze in here?
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a mic check. Hunter said we were good already.
They're going to be coming out just in a moment.
This is good for you.
I know it feels wrong.
No, no, it works for me. I just want to be listening to you guys.
Huh?
Hey Sheree.
Yeah.
Is this going to be on the city's or KCTV's channel?
I don't know about KCTD. We're gonna record it, but it's not live. We're gonna record it, but it's not gonna be live.
Yeah.
It's going to be Chief Graves and Mayor Q.
I believe so.
Okay, thank
And
you.
I believe maybe fire too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did Sheree say we're just a few minutes away?
Whose mic is it okay if I clip the mic onto it? Or?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sheree, did you say we're just a few minutes away?
Yes,
Thank you.
Who are injured. We are praying for the safety of everyone. I've talked to a few different folks so far. One, we have spoken to the Kansas City Chiefs, who made clear that their prayers are with everyone who was at the parade today, everyone in Kansas City, and everyone who was touched by this incident. They also noted that their players, coaches, and staff are all accounted for at this point and safe. We, however, note that this is a fluid situation, so all that we are sharing now may change as the hours go ahead. We've also received a call from the White House that offered all federal assistance in the investigation. We had federal agencies present today. We appreciate that, and certainly in the days ahead and the hours ahead, we will make sure we continue to do this work. I will say personally, first, a thank you to the women and men of law enforcement, to the women and men who work with the Kansas City Fire Department and our other agencies. When the shooting started, I, like many others, ran for safety. I saw a number of agencies, including the Kansas City Police Department, officers with guns drawn who were running towards danger. We thank them for that. As I was leaving the scene, I saw members of our Kansas City Fire Department administering aid to folks who are seriously injured without concern for the shootings and the challenges that were near them. This is absolutely a tragedy, the likes of which we would have never expected in Kansas City, and the likes of which we will remember for some time. However, I want to say thank you to those who are making sure that we are safe today, those who are investigating this incident, and those who will continue to make sure that those who committed these acts today are brought to justice. We'll come back for some questions at the end of the Chief's comments, but now the Police Chief, Stacey Graves.
Chief Stacey Graves, Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. At the conclusion of the Chiefs rally today, there were shots fired on the west side of Union Station. Immediately, officers responded to the area, took 2 people into custody, and also immediately rendered life-sustaining aid to those victims. We're still gathering information on the number and the status of victims, but like I said, we know that one of the victims is deceased. We also know that officers ran towards danger. Officers were there to keep everyone safe. I'm angry at what happened today. The people who came to this celebration should expect a safe environment. we had over 800 law enforcement officers, Kansas City and other agencies, at the location to keep everyone safe. Because of bad actors, which were very few, this tragedy occurred, even in the presence of uniformed law enforcement officers, who again ran towards them and took them into custody. To the people who were injured in this tragedy, our hearts go out to you and your families. This investigation is just beginning, and we are working safely to clear all surrounding areas and businesses. This is still an active investigation. We will continue to keep you updated. We will keep you updated on Twitter and most likely a follow-up press availability. Did you have anything?
Are you saying one of the shooters is dead?
No. One of our victims has been declared deceased. We have right now we have up to 10 to 15 injured. Yes. Right now, we do not have an exact number of people who were victims of a gunshot wound. It could be upwards from 10 to 15 with one deceased.
Do you know how many are in critical condition at this point?
I do not have conditions on our victims just yet.
Any believed to be children?
I do not believe that any of them were children.
Any law enforcement injured in this? First responders?
Nothing of note.
Chief, what do you guys believe now prompted the shooting?
That is still under investigation. I myself was outside when I heard the shots fired. It is an ongoing. I have heard that as well. I have heard that fans got involved in the apprehension or the pursuit of one of the suspects. I cannot confirm that right now, but that is something that I have heard myself.
Can you
Yes.
talk about the response time? Because you say 10 to 15 hospitals in the shooting. This happened pretty quickly. So can you talk about when this started, sort of a timeline from there to the point where your officers responded, to the point where you had KCFD helping to
Absolutely.
render first aid?
As soon as the rally concluded, there were shots fired on the west side of Union Station. Officers were on scene in the area. I know one of the suspects was immediately pursued on foot. Like I said, there's 2 suspects in custody. I have heard the information that was just requested. I will confirm or deny that. But after that, immediately officers began rendering life-sustaining aid, calling in fire, which is the fire department, to also assist victims.
Do you know if there were more than 2 people taken into custody? Because we had 2 people, after you guys had made your announcement, there were 2 people in custody, 2 people live on our air being taken, handcuffed, put into vans. So can you tell us about that and the process as this investigation continues?
I don't know exactly the 2 that you're talking about that your camera caught on video being loaded into a wagon. I don't know that, but I can tell you that in and around that scene, it is still active. Not active in necessarily threats, but it's a very active scene. We're still investigating. This is still early on. We still have parties that are walking into hospitals.
Chief Graves, do you know anything about the suspects in terms of where they're from? Are they from Kansas City?
I do not know that, but that's something that I also will be finding out.
2 questions. We were hearing upwards of maybe 20 shots. Can you talk about the number that you heard while you were
I'm hearing 10 to 15, possibly 15, with the one that is deceased.
And do you know anything about the timing? It seems odd it's waited to the very end of the rally.
I don't have anything about, I can't give you an answer on the timing. I can just say that that's when it occurred, and we are investigating what led up to that. Maybe once we get some of those details, we'll know why that happened at that time, but right now it's still too new.
Chief, was it just one incident or multiple incidents that injured multiple?
That is something that is under investigation.
Mayor Quinton Lucas, you talked about how you were on the ground and you yourself had to run for safety. And I understand we're still waiting on a timeline and trying to understand what exactly happened. But we were having a Super Bowl parade, and this is what the country is talking about now. What is your message to this city at a time like this?
I second the comments by the chief of police. I'm heartbroken. First of all, I'm praying for the victims. and the families impacted. I start with them. I'm incredibly upset, disappointed. I was there with my wife. I was there with my mother. We never would have thought that we, along with Chiefs players, along with fans, hundreds of thousands of people, would be forced to run for our safety today. I think that I'll let the investigation shake out before coming to any further conclusions, but I think the initial response absolutely is anger. You know, we have done a number of these now, and this is a day that a lot of people look forward to, something they remember for a lifetime. And what they shouldn't have to remember is the threat of gun violence, marring a day like this, injuring them and their families. This morning, I was actually thinking about bringing my child, as many people in Kansas City did. And I don't want us to have to, in our country, for every big event, think about a concern of being shot. As the chief noted, we had a lot of law enforcement officers there today. They did exceptional and outstanding work, and I will second that again. Because on your timeline point, I was inside of Union Station. We heard something. A number of us start running, and I see a stream of officers going the exact other direction, in with guns drawn, ready to address danger. And that was the situation throughout. People who responded absolutely immediately. But I wish that we lived in a world where they wouldn't have to do that. I wish we live in a world where we wouldn't have to see incidents like that. But I'm as heartbroken as anybody. We will do a full and thorough investigation. I hope that we bring whoever this is to justice, and we will continue to try to make sure that we can be as safe as possible. However, when you have people who decide to bring guns to events, when you have people who are deciding to try to mar events, celebratory ones like this one, all of us start to become members of this club that none of us want to be a part of, which is those who have experienced mass shootings. I hope for Kansas City this is one of the last times we experience that.
Were the players in any danger at any point?
What's that? Sorry, I'm going.
In danger at any point?
Was I in danger?
No, were any other players, the Chiefs players?
You know what? I think we'll let the investigation take a look at that. The police department responded effectively, I think incredibly quickly, to make sure that people would be out of harm's way. That being said, a number of us had to flee from a situation because we heard a sound of gunshots. So I'll let you answer your own question in terms of whether you think that's something that puts you in danger or not. In my view, anytime shots are nearby, you don't know where they're coming from, you don't know who's firing them and all of that, then perhaps there is a situation of danger.
This is a question for fire.
Thank you guys.
Can I ask a fire question?
Of the 10 to 15 injured that you say, are all of those gunshots? I want to know, and do you have a sense of how many, or are some of those also critical in injury?
We've covered that. We don't have that information.
I just have a fire question.
Hold on. 10 to 15 is what we have. Potentially 15. One deceased. I don't have a condition on the other gunshot victims.
Those are all gunshots, though.
Correct.
Correct.
We don't know how many.
One fire question,
I do not.
because Chief Graves said there
We're
were
going to have a lot of
injured.
updates later, guys. We got to go inside and gather this information. I appreciate it.
Where are the updates, Jake, later?
Well, just look on Twitter.
I just have one. I just have one. I just have one. I just have. Excuse me. I just have one thing to say. This is not Kansas City. I'm angered by what happened, but I want you to know that the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department and all the law enforcement officers that were there today, that were serving and protecting, did the best that they could, and I'm so proud of them that they ran into danger, getting 2 people into custody, and at the same time rendering life-sustaining aid to those victims. We were here for a safe celebration, and because of 2 bad actors or more, it is why we're standing here today. We will recover as a city. My heart goes out to our victim who is deceased, but your police department stands ready, and we are invested in the safety and betterment of Kansas City. Thank
So
you.
there may be possibly more than 2 actors?
We'll send you guys more updates on Twitter, okay? Follow the Twitter account, and we'll put the updates that we have on Twitter. We'll update you guys if there's going to be more news releases, okay? Thank you.
Officer Gonzalez, is the victim a male or a female?
We don't know. We'll get you updated.
How are you? Good. I was at Goose.
Got it.
Oh, were you? Yeah. What happened?
There were a bunch of people that were doing children, but they aren't children. Just to explain the logistics of in a mass shooting like this, they just take them where they can and spread them out.
No, I asked you guys. Let me know when I'm standing by.
Melissa, one of the questions I was just going to ask fire.
If you can hear me, they're getting ready to load a big heart onto a U-Haul. Kind of an interesting picture on this Valentine's Day.
Where are you seeing that? I can't see that.
I just wanted to know here.
I'll put you there. I lost IFB. Do you still have it?
I think it's whenever they go to.
Oh, that would make sense. Okay. So they're going to load it before they get to us. If hurry back to me, we've got a shot of them loading a great big heart onto the U-Haul truck. Okay. Got it. All right, come stand right here. This day began and ended with love, period. I just captured them loading a heart into the U-Haul truck. Sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 0, 4, 1, 2. You said 5:04 is the next. 5 o'clock is the next news conference. Okay. Right. I am actually where I have been up here on a perch. I'm going to have to take my IFB out. I'm getting double audio there. So I have been up here at the Liberty Museum and Memorial, looking down at the lawn between our memorial and Union Station, watching it fill with the people dressed in red and gold, and just everybody in a great mood. This was a day that started, with love letters to the Kansas City Chiefs. And just a moment ago, kind of ironically, I don't know if you can see this last U-Haul down here on the grass. We just watched them load probably a 4-foot by 4-foot red heart. Just kind of a fitting cap here to today, because it is about love. It's about how just two bad actors turned this day into this tragedy. But surrounding that, this was a joyous occasion. People responded appropriately. They got out of harm's way as best they could. And a lot of that is perhaps because they didn't know what was happening. It was difficult to get a cell signal down there. Joining me now is a gentleman who's been up here just kind of watching the scenes. Tell me your name.
Jeremy Evans.
It's so nice to talk to you. You said that you were down there real close for a while.
Yes.
Tell me what you were experiencing.
It was hectic. I was, on the right side of the Union Station, and was probably standing there roughly 8 hours. It was good, but it was like standing in sardines pretty much,
Right.
And it was a good time, but it was hectic at the same time.
And you said because your legs were getting tired, you've been standing there. You guys left before the incident.
Yes, we ended up going to World War I Museum to go rest, and as we were walking up, that's when all the sirens were coming up from the shooting earlier.
And now, in an interesting twist, you are stuck. said that
stay
last
until-
time. I shouldn't move.
I think they want us to stay until 6:30. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I don't have much to add, but I can just kind of wrap up the thoughts. Okay. I've run out of people to interview. So, how's your day been? Okay, I'm coming up next.
you up here.
Okay, I yelled at him. Unfortunately, he had walked down to the lawn, but now is walking back up the steps.
Well, you're a newsman. Sorry you have stuff as a weather person to do your news stories.
They took everything away from us.
Dennis's hit that there were children that were shot? Okay, so I'm not gonna. Okay. Then I'll just continue with what they said, 10 to 15 people.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good.
I don't know what they're.
Right now we're not doing anything because you guys might get sent away.
Lauren Leonard. Yeah, what's up? We're here. You just want pictures?
Somebody's C-stand here to put a. Thank you.
I don't remember if they had. Do you know if they had a photographer here for the first one at 3:30?
I don't know actually.
Okay. Well, maybe you might also be able to grab a still or whatever.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say if they're I was gonna stop shooting video when she asks or they answer questions and then I can give you some stills. Yeah. And then if you want, you can get like the questions on your phone.
Yeah, it'll be all good.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, it's all good, man.
I would have had all my equipment with me, but I was like, oh, it's just gonna be the parade. I'm gonna be done.
Yep.
I was like, this is fine. This gets me going without any.
Don't stress about us.
We're taking your stop. Is this location? Do you know more about? Have they given you a location? No, I sent a tweet updating the 2 hospital info, and it's just blowing up. Yeah, it's huge. And I got one of the numbers wrong. I said 3 critical instead of 2 critical because that was just my fat thumbs. And then I had to correct it. But yeah, I'm like getting 134 retweets in 17 minutes, so I can't read anything on my phone because it just keeps giving me alerts. 3 critical. Is it 3 or is it 2? 2. Okay. I need to retweet you and correct you.
I've got a correction tweet. I sent a correction one.
I just sent a correction tweet.
Thank you for letting me know. Did you also say?
So when I asked to see the rigs, any kids were purchasing them, obviously that's
Yeah, I was about to use it too, and then I listened, and she said, "I don't believe so."
And that's the words I use.
So I have a fresh tweet where I said there were only 2 critical, and I clarified because people were like kids, and I'm like, by kids I mean under the age of 18, not necessarily 5-year-olds. Well, we don't know. They said that Children's Mercy said they have 12 patients, 11 of them are children, and 9 of them were shot. So I know it's at least 8 children shot, possibly 9.
Yeah. That's how I wrote it.
That's how I
said 12 patients, 11 kids, 9 have children, but just 11 are being treated. Yes. Well, 11 are children.
11 children being treated. 9 total being treated. There's 12 total being treated. And does that make any sense here? I've got the actual language. 9 gunshot victims. Total, they have treating 12 patients from their house. 11 are children, 9 have gunshot wounds.
But then we're saying, then why are we saying
at least 8 children?
So why are we saying that?
Because we know 9 people have gunshot wounds. We don't know if all 9 are children, because only 11 of the 12 are children. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like right here.
I'm gonna be right here.
You got it.
Was that for the live? Okay.
I just skipped the non-gunshot videos. Tracing something, throw a bunch of numbers.
Who do we text for St. Luke's? Is it still Michelle Manuel? She's over at Liberty now, right? One shooting victim and the other people who went to the event. One shooting victim there. Okay.
Too much to drink, etc.
Okay.
So that's why I figured the shooting victims were
One
gone
shooting
pretty
victim.
close.
Well, but we've got one shooting victim there.
Yeah, probably transferred. I don't know. You want to put up teams?
Yeah.
Stars to the second person was done.
Yeah, it's good. I wear my coat, huh?
I mean, I have a coat. I should probably go get it, honestly. I mean, it's car's just right here. I got a coat. Oops. Sorry.
But they could have changed.
It wasn't even allowed inside Union Station at the time. I don't think it was open to the public. I don't know.
Players were going over it.
What's that?
What did you guys are live
Yeah, but I'm saying it wasn't open to the public.
Did they tweet it out?
St. Luke's Hospital, Laurel Grifford, and Emily Frickle.
That's right, Laurel.
No problem.
Laurel, Michelle,
You did it still. I'm so
and
sorry. I'm so
I
sorry.
just can't decide what I got it.
Okay, you got it.
I'll send them in.
All right, we are here to give another update. Again, I'm Mayor Quentin Lucas. I'm joined by Kansas City Police Chief Stacy Graves, the Kansas City Fire Chief Ross Grundyson. One thing that we want to note at the outset, the situation continues to have updates. Things will continue to change throughout the night. That's why we are here to give you an update right now. The chief, both chiefs, will be giving more information both on the numbers of victims, the status of victims. The chief of police will give more updates on the investigation. A few things to note that we talked about earlier. In terms of who was in danger, what existed, it is my view, as someone who did have to run at the sound of shooting, that there were a number of people who were, in the very least, caught up in the incident in some way. Myself, my wife, lots of families, players, chief staff, and others, their spouses, their families, a number of people who were in or near Union Station. So many people have been touched by this incident, and we recognize that. We also pray not only for the victims, including the decedent that was discussed earlier and their family, but also the victims of the shootings right now who we hope are recovering inside our hospitals. We'll continue to give you updated information. At this point, we've talked to our federal partners. We have also talked to the Kansas City Chiefs. We will be talking to the National Football League and others. More so just to hear that all are safe who are with those institutions, and we continue to hope that all of those who were impacted are safe. To the extent you have information about suspects or others, we do encourage you to call the police. However, if for whatever other reasons you have information about the incident, we will be looking to share that through different methods. So if you have information about the incident, suspects and others, please call the police. If you're looking for other information, we'll try to continue to give you regular updates. I'll say this final thing, and then we'll come back for questions at the end. Today was tragic for everyone who was part of it. I had the chance to talk to my wife just a moment ago, who said we became part of a statistic of too many Americans, those who have experienced or been part of or connected to a mass shooting. That is something that I hope we all recognize is highly problematic for all of us. I continue to commend our police officers, our firefighters, and others who were there to respond instantly. But we also need to figure out a way to make sure that things like this stop happening in our country. With that, I turn it over to the Chief of Police, Stacy Graves.
Thank you. I just want to echo the mayor's thoughts and his prayers, and also to acknowledge that not only the victims who were actually hit by gunfire, but there are a lot more people who are going to be forever impacted by what happened here today. You know, as people were running, you know, a lot of us law enforcement who are running towards the danger also guided those who were in fear of their lives, and that's something to be said of how impactful today's event truly was. Again, we have confirmed there is one deceased person. Our gunshot wound total has went up to 22, and Chief Grundyson will provide a little bit more context to that. Right now, we're still working on a total of number of victims. This is still an active investigation. I do want to comment on the question that I got earlier about a video of some fans tackling someone. We do have 3 persons detained and under investigation for today's incident. We are working to determine if one of the 3 are the one that was in that video where fans assisted police. Our investigators are working with all of the surviving victims to connect them with loved ones. We are also working to identify our deceased victim so we can notify their family as soon as possible. We are also in the process of staffing a centralized phone number. This centralized phone number will be for those who are victims, witnesses, and if anyone has video or any information about what led up to what happened here today. Again, we are continuously receiving information minute by minute, which is part of the delay of us coming down here. But I do want to pass this on to Chief Grundyson to give a little bit more context to some of the status of our victims.
just want to say that all of KCFD's thoughts and prayers are with those families that were affected by this tragedy today. And while we were not expecting it, we were ready and prepared for an event such like this. Our KCFD units, along with our mutual aid partners that were working to assist us at this event, touched a total of 22 gunshot victims. One of those was a fatality. We had 8 what we considered immediately life-threatening patients. We had 7 with life-threatening injuries, and we had 6 that had minor injuries. Of the most serious, the immediately life-threatening injuries, we had 8 of those. Those were all transported and off the scene and route to hospitals within 10 minutes. So we felt the response was certainly adequate and appropriate, and I commend all our staff working there today, along with PD, that did an excellent job under difficult circumstances. We transported 3 different hospitals. We transported Children's Mercy, Truman Medical, and also St. Luke's on the Plaza.
Questions?
Yeah, so we're getting...
Who are you asking?
Anyone that can answer the question. So we've heard people talk about gunshots that they heard near the west side of Union Station, and then also gunfire in situations that happened near the fountain and the stoplight over there near the intersection of Worship. Was there 2 separate scenes? Was there one big scene? Do you know the answer to that question?
That is still an active scene. That is a large ground to cover. As you know, the size of the Union Station. I will tell you, we have located that crime scene on the west side of Union Station. As far as in the front of, that is still under investigation. We have crime scene investigators as well as the detectives. We had a lot of our assault squad detectives and our homicide detectives that were actually in uniform today working the assignment. So not only did you have uniform presence immediately responding to the scene, rendering aid, going towards danger, but you also had detectives that were immediately on the scene that are still there and actively working.
Are you investigating any sort of connection with the earlier shooting of the day at 27th and Main?
At this time, we don't know if that's connected, but that is something that we are looking at.
We've been made aware of it.
That they want parents to contact them if they don't know where their children are. Do you know that there may be, like, are there kids there who don't have a parent?
I can tell you we have detectives at all of the local hospitals that are investigating, like I said earlier, trying to connect our victims to their loved ones. Should that be the case and it's a child, someone can either contact police, or if that is what Children's Mercy is requesting, of course they can contact them as well.
We've been made aware of it.
Right now we do not have a motive, but we are asking those who may potentially have any kind of information, a witness or video, to contact police. That's one of that, what I talked about, that phone number that we're setting up that's going to be centralized for victims, witnesses, and potential video evidence.
Any age range on the person?
I do not have that yet.
We've learned of a second gunshot victim who has died from family. Has that development been
I have not been able to confirm another death.
You mentioned that there were some victims taken to Children's Mercy Hospital. I understood from staff at Children's Mercy Hospital that they received, they have 9 shooting victims, and it's possible that one of them was an adult. Do you know how many children were shot, if it was 8 or 9? And when we're talking children, are we talking about little ones or 17-year-olds? Do you know, Chief?
Children's accepts patients up to 17. Children's accepts patients up to 17 years old, and but we do not have that information currently on the exact ages of the patients.
Children that were shot.
Yeah, I mean, Children's confirming we did transport to Children's Mercy, but we do not have the ages of those patients.
Mayor, how scared? You had over 800 officers deployed to work this parade, to work outside of Union Station, and still in a matter of moments, 22 people were shot.
I mean, that's what happens with guns. I won't get in a big debate right now. I think we're still doing an investigation, but I mean, what you saw happen was why people talk about guns a lot. We had over 800 officers there, staffed, situated all around Union Station today. We had security in any number of places, eyes on top of buildings and beyond. And there still is a risk to people. And I think that's something that all of us who are parents, who are just regular people living each day, have to decide what we wish to do about it. Parades, rallies, schools, movies, it seems like almost nothing is safe. And we had hundreds of law enforcement there working hard today. And I do want to echo what the chief said, who are running towards danger. But in a matter of seconds, someone who wants to disrupt anything, someone who wants to create any type of situation, or someone who is very simply reckless, can change not just one life or two lives, but almost 24. And that to me is absolutely devastating. And it makes me feel vastly more concerned as a parent just in the world today thinking about that.
Chief, can you say about the number and type of weapons?
Detain those two individuals who clearly caused so much harm.
What was the question?
Can you tell us more about how you were able to take those two suspects into custody?
Officers, uniformed officers were on scene. I don't have all the information of exactly what they witnessed, but there was a pursuit, apprehension, slight injuries by our officers taking someone into custody. But as far as you're directly answering your question, I don't have that information right now.
Chief, you have two gunmen in custody. We were talking about weapons earlier. Can you tell me how many and what type of weapons were involved?
I don't have the exact on the weapons, but we have recovered firearms. I don't have a number for you or a caliber. We have recovered firearms. At least one.
Chief, you have two gunmen in custody. Do you believe there are any others still unaccounted for?
We have 3 people that we have detained. And that is what we are asking for, is if anyone has any information, is a witness or has any kind of video that may provide us if there is anybody else that was involved in this.
Just to help get our facts straight, can you explain?
No, at this time, the scene has been cleared. It's being held. And when I say cleared, I say the scene has been made safe and it's been cleared. Right now, we are in the investigative portion of that, collecting evidence, whether that be digital evidence or physical evidence. That is what we are doing right now. And we're also conducting interviews. Obviously, we have several victims that we need to have a conversation with, to ask questions, also witnesses. So there's a lot of work ahead in this. This is just the beginning stages, but we're moving as fast as we can.
Can you explain that there was like a 5 minutes between the first shots and the second? You said,
all of that has not been determined just yet. The number of shots, the time in between them, the motive, all of that is still actively being investigated.
So we don't know if there were 2 separate scenes. We don't know the answer to that at this point.
I cannot confirm that yet.
And just, did I miss this? Was this inside or outside Union Station?
This was all outside Union Station.
Can you give us any more detail on this?
Thank you.
Might have just been somebody who was helping police. I just want to make sure I'm right with my facts. You said you have 3 people in custody.
We have 3 people that are detained for investigation.
I know where Lisa puts them.
Okay. Well, here, I gotta.
Okay. Yeah. This is
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. She did say she was going to be that third person.
Rachel, we'll have to maybe take a step up.
Okay. Yep, we can do that. So, tell me when you're ready.
We are ready.
I think we're good to go.
Oh wait,
Okay.
hold on. So stop. Hold on.
Yep.
We're good.
I'm Charlie Shields. I'm the president and CEO of University Health. Obviously, a very challenging day for the city, very traumatic, not only for the city, but also for our staff. So we are a level 1 trauma center. This is what we train for. We implemented our mass casualty protocols. We saw 8 shooting victims in the hospital as a result of that. But we also had a significant number of staff that were on the scene. We were manning the aid stations, so they were able to render aid very quickly to the patients that were injured on the scene. So Mark Steele is our Executive Chief Clinical Officer. He can answer any questions, talk about the condition of the patients that we saw and what's going on there. So, Dr. Steele?
Yes, so as Charlie said, we had actually had a total of 12 patients, 8 of them were gunshot victims, otherwise the other 4 had other sorts of problems. And 2 of the people who were shot were in critical condition, the others were all in stable condition.
I just want to make sure I heard the numbers correctly. So it's 8 gunshot victims or 4?
8 gunshot victims in total.
Of those 8 gunshot victims, are they over the age of 18?
I don't know their exact ages.
Can you tell us anything about them?
I mean, all I can tell you is that 6 are stable and the other 2 are in condition.
We saw some of your staff running into the hospital here, and we also saw some of your staff that were stationed here waiting to accept people that coming in here. What type of protocol do you train for and then had to activate?
Yeah, as a level 1 trauma center, we train for this kind of thing. We obviously hope that it never happens, but we're actually very well prepared. We had enough notice that we were going to get some patients, but it was exactly how many. Fortunately, during the day, we had a lot of professionals, a lot of physicians are here present, and so very quickly we discontinued starting to do surgical cases, so that those surgeons and anesthesiologists would be available for the patients that were in the operating room, and we called in some additional people to take each of those physicians as other surgeons came along.
We have reports from the family that Lisa Lopez died recently in the hospital. Are you able to confirm that?
We didn't have anyone die at the hospital.
What are your takeaways from today? Obviously, a wonderful day here that was turned into a tragedy.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it's a big tragedy. It's such a big celebration. Everybody having a lot of fun, and then basically it's wrapping up, and people are going to head home, and all of a sudden this happens. So, as Charlie said, it's very traumatic. It's traumatic for anybody who was there in the area, not only our staff, but all the people who were around and saw this. So it's really very unfortunate.
One more question?
When you say critical condition, can you explain that to our viewers, give them a scope of what that means?
Well, that means they're very, very sick, and certainly we hope that they're going to survive, but when somebody's in critical condition, certainly things can turn south, but we hope that doesn't happen with these 2 individuals.
Thank you guys for your time.
Everybody.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so you heard there 8 gunshot victims here at University Health Truman Medical Center, and just a really tough situation here. And the staff that was down there at the parade, they actually had staff that was stationed down at the parade. They immediately rendered first aid to those gunshot victims.